What's up, everybody, and welcome to the grand finals of the MSI Overdrive tournament, a LAN tournament held in the Philippines, presented to you by MSI. And hopefully, we can get more tournaments like this in the near future, both in Dota 1 and in Dota 2. But right now, Dota 1 is still the dominant game in the Filipino scene. But GST July is coming up very, very soon, and some of the traditional teams that played in Dota 1, such as Orange, are abandoning the tournament because they are focusing on Dota 2 because they are one of the teams invited to the International. So, we'll see if more and more teams start to switch over to Dota 2 in the near future, but until then, I'll still be bringing you as many Dota 1 replays as I can find salvageable. And this is the grand finals of the MSI Overdrive tournament, and ApplePark is on the Sentinel side, facing up against MSI EvoGT, and I know MSI EvoGT would love to take this tournament and represent their sponsors brilliantly in this MSI Overdrive tournament, but ApplePark have just come out of nowhere, taking down top teams such as Badburn, and have really just shown a lot of momentum. And I think this is a best of three grand final set, so hopefully we'll see some excellent Dota being played all around. So let's get into it. And yes, keep in mind I will be bringing you more Dota 2 replays in the near future, and GST July is coming up next week, so I'll be bringing you some quality games from that if I can find the time. But still, Star Ladder tournament replays, if I can manage to get a hold of them, along with the defense replays, are definitely going to be in the near future, along with other projects that I really need to find the time to start finishing up. But anyway, we're going to see Nagasire and Templar being banned by the ApplePark squad, and both these heroes will be in Dota 2 very, very soon. Actually, by the time we're speaking this, our Templar Assassin has just been implemented into Dota 2 very, very recently. Very, very strong hero. Hopefully, heroes such as Nagasire and Templar are being introduced into the scene, and hopefully heroes like Abaddon and Centaur will be introduced very, very shortly after. And hopefully that'll increase the number of Southeast Asia Dota players switching to Dota 2. At least I think that's what Valve's going for, as we see a Morphling be banned by ApplePark. Meanwhile, we have MSI EvoGT, the two times winners of GEST. They won GEST uh, April and May, so they were consecutive winners before Badburn took the title away from them. And they decided to ban the Shalfiend, Lycanthrope, and Omni Knight. Of course, Shalfiend, ApplePark made great use of them in their last game up against Pacific Badburn. They clearly do not want to face against that powerful Shalfiend that ApplePark loves to use. So we'll see how the picks shape up. We see a Earthshaker opening pick, so that means an Ancient Apparition pick will soon shortly follow. Meanwhile, we see a Rubik pick. Now, ApplePark, they like to solo mid with the Rubik, and it's very different from other Southeast Asian teams, how they like to play it, which is more as a tri-lane support. And it's a very strong build because Rubik's nukes get very, very powerful. Rubik needs a lot of mana in order to spam his spells, so if you can get him the farm that he requires in order to get going, he can become a dangerous threat. And teams like Navi have picked up Rubik. And shouts to people who've been giving me commentary and tips on all the comments. I really appreciated how Bane is a Navi staple, how Navi used Rubik in their solo mid position. This is a LAN tournament rather than an online tournament, so thank you all. Keep leaving me feedback and keep supporting me. I really appreciate it. But meanwhile, we're going to see a Queen of Pain and Winram being picked up by a Scourge title, so no Ancient Apparition pick. Will ApplePark decide to ban out the Ancient Apparition? That will remain to be seen. But right now they have Queen of Pain soloing it up, and in the last couple of Dota 1 matches we've seen Queen of Pain just not have a good time at all. So hopefully MSIEvoGT can break that trend, but right now Queen of Pain might not be worthy of the top 3 status that the Filipinos are basically banking on her to get, because she just loses momentum and she just doesn't become very effective in the mid to late stages game if you focus a lot of attention on her. Meanwhile, Sand King and Chaos Knight are going to get banned by MSI EvoGT. Meanwhile, ApplePark ban out the Beastmaster. Will they ban out the Ancient Apparition? It'll be interesting to see if Queen of Pain goes solo mid and Windrunner solos top for the MSI EvoGT squad, or if we're going to see a support Windrunner, or a roaming Shaker even, rather than traditional Filipino tri-lane versus tri-lane or tri-lane versus solo lane setup. Axe is going to be the ban by ApplePark, a hero that I do not honestly see the appeal of in the Dota 1 scene, but hey, he's going to get banned. I mean, Axe is a really fun hero, but he's just not been very effective in any of these games. Like, he hasn't been able to get off quality initiations because Filipinos love to pick very mobile heroes that have a lot of spell damage. So Axe just gets burst down, and hopefully, I need to check. Oh my god, there is actually an observer slot. Thank you, Lord. And looks like Ancient Apparition is going to be the pickup by MSI EvoGT. So right now what MSI EvoGT is lacking is, of course, that semi-carry to hard carry. Who is left in the pool for them to pick up? Will we see an anti-mage being picked up? I really, really doubt it. It doesn't really synergize with their lineup. When you pick up an anti-mage, you really want to have some sort of AoE that can turtle long enough. And meanwhile, ApplePark, they do have very strong counter anti-mage heroes. They have the Dragon Knight, which has a ridiculous duration of stun. They have Puck, Dreamcoil, and Winning Rift. And of course, they have Rubik with the Telekinesis and Fade Bolt just to reduce. So it'll be interesting to see which carry the MSIEvoGT squad will pick up. Or maybe they'll just abandon the hard carry role altogether and pick up a semi-carry like Priestess of Moon. Although we've seen that hero just completely fall out of favor in both Dota 1 and in Dota 2. ApplePark picked up the Dragon Knight, so looks like they might solo mid with him and have a traditional Rubik support. Puck will definitely be soloing lane, and Puck has just been a very dominant hero recently. I commented on the last ApplePark match where they managed to take down Battle Baron. Puck is just such a useful hero against the Filipino scene because he can chase, he holds people in place to prevent people from getting away from his teammates with Dream Coil. He silences with an AoE, which is, those Pinoys love to have those spells spammed at any stage of the match. So Puck has just become a real dominant force in the Filipino scene, at least in my opinion. As we see Alina being picked up, ApplePark made great use of Lion, so it looks like they're going to go with Alina for a bit more burst damage, and along with some more spammability, a little bit more AoE. So maybe they want to outpush. I was going to see the Panda being picked up by ApplePark. Well, they're going to solo mid with the Panda, so we're going to see a support Windrunner, or if not, a dual lane Windrunner with the Earthshaker roaming rather than a traditional Thailand. Or maybe we're going to see Panda being supported. It's too early to call. We'll be able to see once we get into the players and see which team picks up, or which player picks up which hero. ApplePark, they're waiting very patiently on their last pick. Who will they pick up? They have their traditional semi-carry in the form of Dragon Knight, going to go for a very fast Lothar's Edge and just initiate with the long range of the Dragon Tail, which has been buffed to 400 range. But even then, before that even happened, the Filipinos did still love to rush Lothar's Edge on that Dragon Knight. As Agent Y, the land player in the last game, is calling for a Centaur being picked up. And we've seen a comeback in Centaur, although I haven't casted any Centaur replays personally. But Centaur is just such a useful tri-lane hero. He's very innately tanky, builds very tanky, and Double Edge is such a strong tri-lane nuke because it doesn't require any mana, so you can just constantly spam it in action as long as you have enough regen. So we'll see what ApplePark decides to go for, but just what they're lacking right now is just maybe some solid form of physical DPS if they want to go through that route. They're going to need some form of physical DPS to take down the Pandas, and if DK doesn't get very carry heavy items, they might be lacking that in a bit. Or they might go for a bit tanky because only DK is a really reliable tank, and if you tank all the spells on DK, you're going to lose a lot of bulk of the farm if he does fall. So we are going to see a Centaur being picked up by the ApplePark squad. So this is going to be pretty exciting to see. And yes, it's going to be played by the Chaos Knight player in the last game. So let's just check out really fast. No, unfortunately, the observer was in the wrong observer slot. That's very annoying. So the farm screens are going to have to be me shuffling through them frantically once again. But introducing the players and the teams, we have... Oh my god, stop the spam. As we're going to have Cao playing the Dragon Knight, played a Puck in the last game. We have Lorchan playing the Puck in this game. So let's see, playing that Centaur, Agent Y playing the Rubik. So we're going to see a traditional Rubik support, and KMS playing the Lina. Meanwhile, on the MSIEvoGT squad, formerly known as XCTN, before being picked up, they have I don't know. I can't see. There's too much spam. This is really getting a bit annoying. As we're going to see, Rubik takes so much damage by the beautiful Jackal Shot and the Fissure Block by Earthshaker. As it looks like he's trapped himself in the trees. The Centaur might take a lot of damage. Will he fall? No, Earthshaker is taking a lot of damage in exchange, as Lina might be jumped upon by the Panda. As right now, there's just too much shit in the chat screen. Jesus, guys. This is not very professional. I can't see anything. Sorry, but it's a little annoying. I can't see half the action because it's just cluttering up so much of the screen. So hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully this isn't a reoccurring theme. Otherwise, I can't see myself casting these whole grand finals. The spam might just get too annoying to me. But, if I get enough support, I'll cast it anyway. So right now, since MSIEvoGT have also TNC on the end of their names, it's hard to tell who is who. Looks like we have K1 Mo playing the Earthshaker, Tatak playing the Ancient Apparition, Doc playing the Queen of Pain, Ara playing the Panda, and AEJ playing the Windrunner. So we'll see how these try shape up, but already MSIEvoGT got off to a nice start, killing the Rubik very, very easily. And right now we're going to see a try-in Windrunner, so we are going to see a Panda in the mid lane, slowing up against the Dragon Knight, and Queen of Pain versus Puck. So can ApplePark make do with their early deficit. Right now, the Trillion Power, I mean, Windrunner is a very, very strong Trillion hero, but they don't really have a hero that really benefits from a lot of farm, like a traditional hard carry, unless Windrunner goes for a very early on carry item, and right now she's not getting the last hits, which is pretty unfortunate. Just some mistiming, but I'm sure she'll pick it up as the time goes on. Meanwhile, we're going to have Rubik oh so scared, does not want to be ganked upon by all of the heroes on the MSI EvoGT squad, and Centaur is a much more worthy hero to take the farm in the tri lane. We'll see if Winner decides to go for the traditional 4-step mecha all phase boots build that we see so often because she's getting so much more farm. Or maybe she'll be able to pick up an early semi-carry item, maybe like early Hex or an early Orchid or anything like that. Orchid might benefit them very well against heroes like Puck, like Rubik. As Earthshaker gets a block off, Lena's in a lot of trouble. Can Rubik get a chance to note? Telekinesis was dropped on the ancient apparition, who stopped coming in, and a double edge with the cleanup. Nicely done, and Centaur still has a lot of mana to work with, and this is why I think Centaur might be one of the strongest tri-lane heroes in the Dota 1 metagame at the moment, and this is why we see him in Dota 1 teams. He just fulfills a role similar to Visage just because he can be so very offensive. As Telekinesis is dropped once more on the Windrunner, and Double Edge will be cooling down. Can Lena get the Light Strike right? Yes, she does, and Lena picks up the last hit, and already this trying of Rubik, Lena, Centaur are taking revenge on their Rubik for their Rubik ally, and they're already getting off to a beautiful start, so nicely done by the ApplePark squad, clearly surprising the veteran MSIEvoGT squad, because ApplePark pretty much came out of nowhere, if I'm not mistaken. Even on the Ghosted Gamers rank, it was just like, ApplePark? Who are these guys? Even I can be too sure, but right now they are definitely showing they are a team that they cannot be messed with, and I wonder if they replace the Orange squad in the GST July, but maybe we'll see, find out in a week's time. Dragonite has picked up the early bottle as well as the Panda, so right now this is going to be a slugfest. Panda should have a good, decent time because he has that innate slow, and he has a bit wider AoE along with some innate tankiness with his just overall higher strength growth than the Dragonite. Dragonite has good armor. He already has picked up 1 point to Dragon's Blood. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Puck versus Queen of Pain. Usually I say Queen of Pain shouldn't have too much trouble in this lane, but Pucks have just been doing a marvelous job. Why do I say Queen of Pain should have the advantage? She has a better attack animation, she has higher base damage, she has a more spammable nuke. Pucks have just been pulling that phase shift masterfully and have been really taking advantage, and this Puck is just doing a sensational job. Unfortunately, did not dodge the Shadow Strike, so that's going to be a little bit unfortunate for this poor Puck, but still he's going to keep bottle curling it up. Has picked up a Magic Wand as well to mitigate some of the spam of the Queen of Pain. And meanwhile, will we see more challenge engagement? Centaur is level 3 already. Will he go for a very early Ring of Health? That is my guess. There's a lot of magical damage coming in on the side of MSIEvoGT, and MSIEvoGT cannot let this go for the late game as Queen of Pain just went in trying to get a kill on the Puck, but Puck still had enough HP. Will he die to the Shadow Strike? Yes, one more tick. No, he dodges it with the phase shift. Shadow Strike still on the Puck. He might just die. No, he escapes with 3 HP. My god, this Puck counting all of his lucky stripes. Centaur still has just the same items, and Windrunner is forced to play very defensively, and this is not looking very good for the side of MSIEvoGT. Centaur, a much more useful hero who scales very well, and this is why I think Centaur is a stronger hero than an Axe, because Axe takes a solo mid, but he doesn't really do too well with a lot of farm, unlike a Centaur who gets very, very tanky, and whose passive reflect damage skill scales well as he picks up more and more strength. And Centaur just becomes such a strong initiator, and also has a spammable nuke that does not require mana, unlike other heroes who require a lot of mana, as Queen of Pain just trying to get some revenge on this Puck. But Puck has already won this lane, is going to continuously bottle Crow, already level 6, meanwhile the Queen of Pain is just level 5. So this Puck is having a grand old time. Meanwhile, DK picked up a double damage rune, has Coiling Blade as well, so might he go for some early tower push? Yes, be careful, he won't die outright to a Panda ultimate, but if there's just one more hero, he will die if ApplePark decides to send a hero after that Dragonite. Meanwhile, farming it up a little bit, along with Lena. Lena level 3, Rubik level 4, so although Rubik did die in that first blood engagement, he's managed to pick up some levels, already out-leveling the hardest carry on this tri-lane, which is the Windrunner. Meanwhile, Earthshaker and Indetermination are distributing the levels nicely. I think this is what MSIEvoGT needs to do. They need to distribute the levels evenly so that the supports can get tanky and they can farm up and able to make a strong mid-game impact. Otherwise, they do not have the late game, quite frankly, to match up with the ApplePark guys. They do not have a Centaur or a Dragon Knight, and all they have is a Panda whose ultimate just weakens as the game goes on. We've seen that in a lot of Dota 1 games, and even in Dota 2 games recently. As Fissure's going to be dropped on the Centaur, he just shrugs it off. With that Ring of Health, is going to be A-okay. Will Centaur go for a Vanguard? He has the Stout Shield and the Ring of Health, but might go for a Hooded Defiance because there's just a lot of magical damage being pumped out on the side of MSIEvoGT. I'd suggest Hooded Defiance just because you get a lot of HP in the form of your Great Fortitude skill. But still, Vanguard never a bad choice, especially on a melee hero, especially on a tanky melee hero such as the Centaur. As Rubik's going to come around, will he get the Telekinesis casted on the Windrunner? Will he get frozen to the spot? Yes, he will by the Cold Feet, but still is not in any danger of having his life. Just took a little bit of minor damage. Meanwhile, Pink, the Earthshaker, is going to roam into the middle lane. Will they get a gank off the Dragon Knight? Will he split? Panda does not. He does have enough mana. He's going to pop the Cyclone. No, it does get dispelled right then and there, but now he uses the Dispel to dispel. What did he spell? I guess the Bottle Charge? But still, Earthshaker's coming in from the rear. But unfortunately, the Fire Panda did die, so Panda is going to be stuck for a while with the Fissure. And this Fissure is not working out. Earthshaker's just going to have to run a long way around, and now Panda's going to retreat. If the Scourge side are lucky, they will not lose the Earthshaker. But now Rubik teleporting in with the Breath of Fire and the Fade Bolt, doing a lot of damage, and the Crow just giving the giving the ApplePark squad a lot of vision, but nice block by the Earthshaker as he's going to be able to motor away. Boot's not picked up on the Rubik just yet, but still a waste of time. But more importantly, they did bait out the Panda ultimate, and he's diving quite deep for that Dragon Knight. Can Dragon Knight drop the Dragon Tail to escape? No, he's going to die to this Panda. But now Panda is trapped with nowhere to go, and if there's a couple more teleports, they will take revenge for the Dragon Knight player. Puck's going to teleport in. Cast a Wing Drift, won't even bother to cast a Dream Coil, and just teleports back up to the high ground. So overall, it is in favor of the Sentinel squad, ApplePark, after losing that first blood engagement. Just done a nice job in terms of counter game. This Rubik has definitely shown his mettle, has 3 kills already. Meanwhile, Lane at level 4, should pick up level 6 very soon. You can see that overall the level advantage is in favor of the... It's in favor of the ApplePark squad. Yeah, I can say that. Because they have 2 level 5s and level 4. Meanwhile, MSIEvoGT still have a level 3, level 4, and a level 5. But still not a deficit that cannot be overcome, but I maintain that if this game goes to the mid to late game stages of the game, especially if Queen of Pain is not farming very well, MSIEvoGT do not have a chance in hell of taking this game. Of course, crazier things can happen, especially in Pinoy Dota 1. I mean, we've seen so many crazy plays happen, lives getting complete turnaround, games getting complete turnaround. It's all about momentum for these guys. And we'll see how this game decides to shape up. And right now, Centaur is just tanking all of these auto attacks. A Light Strike already does whiff, and Winner is going to get himself positioned. Lena, do not end up with your Centaur. No, he does. She does not get shackled, and Winner might take the kill up on the Lena. No, Centaur is going to run out, and Sunlight Windrunner is trapped, nowhere to get out. Hoof Stomp with the double-edged chain stun nicely, picking up a kill on the Windrunner player. So ApplePark just holding their composure, winning these lanes solidly. And this is really, really unfortunate for the MSIEvoGT squad, because although they did lose the Dragon Knight, I mean, Panda did take the fall in that, and meanwhile, Puck is just completely dominating the top lane against the Queen of Pain, as we see so very often. And I think I have to maintain that rather than giving Axe ban, you might just consider, okay, let's ban the Puck. As the Dream Coil is dropped, Blink was already used, Wing Rift going to be casted, a couple more hits, Magic Wand is baited out, will he cast Scream of Pain? Yes, he's going to dodge it, and Sonic Wave and the auto attack managed to pick up the kill, but it looks like Doc managed to get the experience for that. So still, overall even trade, beneficial for the Queen of Pain because she was behind levels, but still, 1 for 1, and Queen of Pain is not farming, and they can afford that. They have a Centaur farming, they have a Dragon Knight farming. Meanwhile, pretty much the latest game hero, Queen of Pain, is not farming because she just died. So ApplePark looking in tip-top shape to take full control of this game. Only been 10 minutes, and unfortunately I can't check out any sort of farm. But Dragon Knight has 1k gold in the bank. Will he decide to go for pick up a very fast quarterstaff, just increase the attack speed and build towards that eventual Lothar's Edge? Or maybe he'll finish the treads. He'll probably finish the treads. And then maybe get a bit more tanky, maybe pick up a Vitality Booster into a late game Vanguard or an Ogre Axe for a late game BKB. Anything's possible. It's still after the treads. I expect the Lothar's Edge just because that is the Pinoy playstyle. Meanwhile, Panda does get stunned by the Dragon Tail. Puck is going to chain the silence along with the stun nicely, but Panda should have the ultimate and is going to escape just fine. But still, Puck is happy with that. They managed to force Panda back. Meanwhile, the MSIEvoGT squad are just sort of panicking. They're not really doing too much. They're not pushing a tower. I mean, it's only a solo Centaur. They could probably... It's going to be difficult to kill a Centaur, especially since you picked up the Vanguard, already 1500 HP. Jesus. But still, they're not really picking up experience on their supports. I'm not really liking the hero movement that the MSIEvoGT squad are employing at this one. ApplePark just seems to have their number at the moment as Puck is going to Waning Rift out. Has that aura, what aura was that? Oh, he has a haste rune. It's a little bit different. It looks like the Troll Warlord aura, to be quite honest, as I think it is a similar graphic. But still, Puck going to be able to escape. And if Queen of Pain can get enough farm, she'll become a mid-game threat, but right now she doesn't need on strength heads. Will she go for a fast Lincoln Sphere? Or may an aggressive item, may a fast Aghanims, but Aghanims doesn't really tick in more effectively until you hit that level 11 or level 16, where it can spam the ultimate cooldown. And it doesn't give you any other benefit besides a little bit tankability and just increasing the overall power of that ultimate. But on the back of the Panda ultimate, looks like MSIEvoGT want to pick up a tower. Fade Bolt going to be cast along with Dragon Slave. And meanwhile, was that Hannah Midas? Hannah Midas being picked up by DK pretty late game. But still, I mean, they can play for the late game. So I don't think Hannah Midas is the worst decision. Of course, you want to ideally pick up the Hannah Midas by around the 8-minute mark so you can make back that gold by around the 25 to 30-minute mark, ideally. But it looks like ApplePark are going to pop a smoker to see will they go for a gank on the Queen of Pain, and this is what I'm talking about. If Queen of Pain just gets continuously ganked and Puck just dropping illusory orbs left and right. So will we see a Dream Coil to break the Queen of Pain as Rubik's going to come in with the telekinesis, going to hide in the trees? Does Queen of Pain suspect anything? No, she does not. She's staying very far back, but still she might suspect something. No, Puck drops the Dream Coil. Queen of Pain blinks out, but Puck's going to fall in with the illusory orb. No, they're just going to waste a little bit of time, but Lena did not reveal her smoker to see. Rubik did. But meanwhile, ApplePark were fine with this. They're finding the DK was Animaya. Centaur is just being DK's bodyguard. He's just like super secret service. And if the Scourge decide to gank them with the level 4 and level 5 heroes, they're going to be in for a nasty surprise. Meanwhile, Observer Wards did spot the advancement of the MSIEvoGT support, so they suspected something was there. That's why Centaur was hiding. And Puck is just going to put a little bit of pressure on this top lane. So we shall see how this game will shape up, but right now it's not looking too good for the MSIEvoGT squad at all. So we'll just go to the Scourge, check out their farms. Earthshaker, not much farm in the bank. Pretty far away from picking up any sort of arcane boots. I think the most important heroes to see are the Panda, who has 800 gold in the bank, going to go for drums most likely, and Akasha, who does not have any gold, just finished strength treads for a little bit more HP. Does Panda have drums just yet? No, just a phase boots. So MSIEvoGT are just not farming well whatsoever, and that's to be expected considering they did not have a fun laning phase at all. And meanwhile, the Centaur is just going to be rolling around gold. Should probably finish the Magic Wand because it'll be very useful, and then go for a straight Blink Dagger just to be more aggressive and try to take control of the game through that way. Meanwhile, MSIEvoGT are constantly committing 4 heroes to the mid lane, but they're not doing anything. Not really too sure if I like this move. Meanwhile, Centaur is farming, Puck is farming, and Dragon Knight's going to be farming neutrals because he has hit a minus. And meanwhile, if you want to get your sports farm, committing them to tri-lanes or pushes that don't even work out. This is not how you go about it. So MSIEvoGT playing very, very scared at the moment. Can't really say I blame them, but they could be employing better uses of times. It's very difficult to gank a Puck, but still I might recommend it as we see the traditional ApplePark Puck Dagon build. Just to give them a bit more percentage. More like an anti-Queen of Pain measure, just because Queen of Pain just builds very, very squishily. And so does Ancient Apparition and Earthshaker as Panda's get nuked down by the Fissure that was stolen by the Rubik, along with the Dragon Tail and the Lena's burst damage. As ApplePark doing a nice job employing heroes like Lion and Lena, who have a lot of burst damage, have a lot of skills that can be utilized, and have different roles. And along with the Puck with the Dagon build, they are just performing very, very nicely. Queen of Pain has picked up level 10, but still has not picked up the most farm in the world. Sen will pick up the middle tier 1 tower. Dream Coil is going to be dropped in Winter. She has no way to escape. Hoof Stomp just going to be dodged, but the Dream Coil just barely procs in. Puck pops the illusory orb as Ancient Apparition hit level 6, going to use the Ice Blast, and all that does is just tickle the ApplePark heroes. Centaur is barely losing any HP during the duration of this, despite being hit with the full blast of the Ancient Apparition. Or just with the shower effect, at the very least. So what will MSIEvoGT do? To be honest, I'm not really too sure what they can do. Like, they're just being pressured in so many lanes. They had the worst late game. Their lanes did not work out, and they should have won the laning phase. But Centaur, just a very strong tri-lane hero in general, has just double-edging creeps just to push a tower much more quickly. And ApplePark just employing a very creative line. This Panda pick is not working out. And again, if Queen of Pain does get shut down, she does not become a factor at all in these Filipino games. I mean, in the past month, I think Queen of Pain was working out. I mean, I often commented, okay, Queen of Pain gets a lot of momentum, as we saw in May and June. If Queen of Pain just gets a lot of momentum, she just dominates games completely. But I guess heroes are catching on. If you just sort of keep her under control, she can't really do too much because her nukes don't scale very well, and she doesn't level Blink, which does not help her survivability. As you see a mid lane gank, you can all see what's happening. Cold Feet, along with the Panda Clap and the Ice Blast, going to be able to pick up a kill. But all the while, ApplePark being able to pick up a kill on the bottom lane, on the back of the Puck Dagon. And they killed the Windrunner, so Winner did not even fare very well in this turn, as Ord's going to do a very brave teleport. He uses Centaur though, so doesn't give any sorts of shit. Yeah, ApplePark migrating slowly but surely, menacingly, Jaws theme track pumping in the background. But it looks like Puck is just going to teleport top, eliminate some of the Queen of Pain farm, just determined to keep her down. Point booster being picked up by the Queen of Pain, Shadow Strike being popped on the Puck. Should not be very aggressive in terms of getting this kill. It does have Sonic Wave, but still, you do not want to overly commit with only a level 1 or 2 Blink against this Puck. Probably just a level 2 Blink, because she only has 2 points in Shadow Strike. Meanwhile, Centaur going to try to go on the offensive, has picked the phase, which is nice choice, going to give him a lot of mobility and give him a lot of initiation along with that extra damage, so you cannot just ignore the Centaur, as is very popular in the old days when Centaur was picked, or at least in pubs. Meanwhile, Renner just having a miserable time. Might be able to finish the mechanism soon, but not really too sure how much this will accomplish. We should just check out the Dragon Knight's farm. Does he have the Lothar's Edge? He has a Claymore, so he's pretty close. There's an Observer Ward being placed by the MSIEvoGT squad. No Sentry Wards being there to bother. Of course, Lane Ward's very important, but still, I mean, seeing that your opponents are there, I mean, you can see them just from the creeps. Unless MSIEvoGT make for a push very, very early on, this ward will not serve too much, as looks like ApplePark feel very confident. They just have this game under control. Windrunner not even level 10 yet. Barely close to level 10, to be quite frank. And is forced to back out just of constant threat of the Puck of the Centaur. So ApplePark just employing the strategy very beautifully, to be quite honest. Not much more I can say at this point. A lot of hero movement, not the typical action we see in Pinoy games, but still, we see a lot of movement, just ApplePark slowly but surely controlling the game, and especially since MSIEvoGT do not have very many jungle wards or any gems or anything. As Centaur picks up the Blink Dagger, initiates on the Queen of Pain. Here comes the silence. Queen of Pain will just barely be able to blink out, but Puck is there for a Dream Call. Fisher is casted as Agent White picks up a double kill. Meanwhile, Centaur did take the fall in the midst of all that, so 2 for 2. Nice job, as Rubik's gonna definitely take the fall. Agent White did fall, so nice job by the MSIEvoGT squad, sensing that Park wanted to get a gank going to secure the advantage and pick up the tier 1 tower on the top lane. But the counter gank by MSIEvoGT was very unexpected. But still, Dragon Knight and Lina are surviving, and as long as Dragon Knight or Centaur are surviving, those late game heroes will be able to carry ApplePark to victory. And meanwhile, MSIEvoGT not even going to bother to mount all forces on the top lane, even though they do have the Panda ultimate. And I think they should be using this time to push a tower. But still, they're going to retreat back. I mean, Ancient Apparition has pretty low HP, but still, they had a good idea with the counter gank, but they're not doing anything with it. They're just using it to farm up the Windrunner and the Panda. And right now, Panda is not really going to scale very well. He has the Blink Dagger himself, but still, unless he just gets perfect ultimates off every fight, his effectiveness will only wane.
A player's forces are under attack.
Dragon Knight very content just to farm up his Lothar's Edge. Is pretty close. Should have it very, very soon. Man, I wish the Observer slot was in the wrong game, or in the right slot. Meanwhile, Centaur is going to blink in for the Winner, gets one auto attack, and the Winner responding very slowly as Double Edge and Laguna Blade able to mop up the Winner without any problems. Now ApplePark going to push this tower, and keep in mind the reflect damage of the Centaur, or return rather, will be able to reflect tower damage as well, as Centaur is clearly having to take all the tower aggro, and is just going to easily motor down this tower. Meanwhile, there's a huge mid lane team fight breaking out. Ice Blast manages to land on the Rubik, nicely done by Ancient Apparition player as Puck cleans off the Earthshaker with the Dagon and the Dream Call. Will they go on the offensive? Panda has not used his ultimate. Shout Strike being dropped on the Luna, and Panda is going to get into position, is going to drop the Thunderclap and the ultimate Magic Wanding up just before that, just so he can have enough mana. Nicely done by the Panda. Will they pick off this middle tower? No, Dragon Knight's going to TP back, and Centaur's going to TP back, and now MSIEvoGT are just like, oh shit. As Dragon Knight's going to go on the offensive, has picked up the Lothar's Edge, will be able to clean up the Ancient Apparition very, very shortly with the Fire Breath, and now Panda is stuck in the middle of nowhere, ApplePark being able to counter gank against the MSIEvoGT squad, and everything is coming up aces for the ApplePark squad. They are making an apple pie at the MSIEvoGT squad. You know, Centaur, what will you go for next? Will you go for standard? Well, it's not really standard because I haven't honestly watched any Centaur Filipino games. But Centaur is a hero who's sort of waned in and out of being a niche pick for a bit, just because he builds very tanky. He scales decently well if he gets enough farm, and he's a strong initiator because of his hoof stomp. And he's tanky. Being tanky is the name of the game. As Earthshaker gets a mechanism popped by the winner, just stop cancels fissure. But Puck, of course, no mana cost. You just see Centaur blinking in. Sonic Wave doing a huge amount of damage, able to pick off the Rubik, but Dragonite has a shower effect on them. Will they go on the offensive for the Akasha? No, looks like Centaur does not want to waste his HP on killing the Akasha, as Puck is just staying in the background, going to be the silent assassin, 1-for-1 in that exchange. But keep in mind, still now no towers being pushed by the MSIEvoGT squad. And again, if they're not pushing towers, you're not going to be winning the game with mid-game lineups such as this. Not to say that ApplePark has a very strong late game lineup, they just have more of a late game than the Scourge lineup does. Dragonite has picked up the level 11 Dragon form, very close to level 16, so is going to be able to get those Frosty Epicenters very, very soon. Picked up a Mytho Hammer, might go for a Maelstrom, or just might go for an all-out BKB. Either way, I do not see him dying in the near future unless the chain zones are perfectly. And even then, Centaur will be able to get the cleanup kills, as Puck's going to bottle the haste rune, might go on the offensive. No, it looks like he's just going to back the heck away, as Pen is coming in for the reinforcement. As you can just see, the level advantage is just clearly in favor of the ApplePark squad. Earthshaker very, very low leveled, and 16-10 in favor of the ApplePark. Not really a blow up, but if you just look at the positioning, just look at how scared the MSIEvoGT team is playing, then you can see that this is slowly but surely becoming a blowout. And this is not what I expected, as Pen is going to go initiate on the Centaur. Fissure is going to come in, going to throw down a lot of damage on the Centaur, and that might be what they need. Just hope ApplePark gets out of position, but still, I think ApplePark Centaur farming without vision, and meanwhile, MSIEvoGT were able to exploit the long-range nature of their spells with the Panda Blink Dagger and the Fissure just to kill the Centaur without too much trouble. They didn't use any major ultimates, they just used the Ice Blast. Ancient Apparition has an Urn of Shadows. Earthshaker, will he farm up for a Blink Dagger? Let's just check out his gold really fast. Still quite far away from finishing any sort of Blink Dagger. Meanwhile, Winner has a mechanism, going to go for a quarter staff, going to go for the 4th staff. Ancient Apparition, Urn of Shadows, like I already suggested. Queen of Pain, going to go for the Bloodstone. This is what I honestly don't get. I mean, when you give heroes such huge amounts of farm for an item that doesn't really do too much for your team. I mean, if Queen of Pain blinks in and dies, you get that heal off, you get a lot of mana regen, but items like Bloodstone, items like a late game Aghanim Scepter by around the 30-minute mark in the last game we saw, items like, I don't know. I just don't know what these Queen of Pains are doing, quite honestly. As Dragonite's going to go on the offensive, will he get the Dragon Tail spin off? No, just going to lead the winner to teleport out to fight another day, Telltales of the big Frosty Dragon that will surely siege their base very, very shortly. You know, Puck has a Void Stone and the Blink Dagger. Going to go for probably a Yule Scepter for some more mid-game dominance, or may just be saving for a late-game Hex if the game does go that late. You know, the ApplePark squad not content with their advantage, going to smoke up. Centaur picks up a Mytho Hammer, might go for BKB himself, or a Maelstrom, or a Desolator. Anything's possible. Probably BKB for the Centaur. Meanwhile, Dragonite might just pick up a BKB himself just to tank up. And a lot of the damage is coming from the MSIEvoGT side, is just magical. So BKB will just be able to keep the tank ability to such a point where the two tanks will be in no danger of ever losing their lives. What does Lena have? She teleports in with Smoke Seed, gonna cast some spells. Has Arcane Boots along with the Bracer. Might go for Drums. As DK picks up the BKB. Meanwhile, Rubik has Arcane Boots with the Bracer and Warding. So everything is just looking a-okay for the ApplePark squad, and MSIEvoGT just saying, okay guys, 25 minutes in the game, we're mid-game lineup. Maybe we should push a tower. Just saying. It might be a good idea. But I think ApplePark are just content. Okay, you can have this tower. I mean, we don't want it anyway. It was an inferior tower anyway. So first tower taken by the Scourge side. Can they translate into anything? No, they're just going to back up. I'd do the same, to be quite honest. They don't really have any sort of advantage going in their way. Just take your small victories and run with them. And maybe they'll push this top tier 1 tower as well. Still don't know why they never took that after that huge teamfight gank.
A player's forces are under
Puck
attack.
level 16 picks up the Perseverance. Might be going for a Bloodstone, might be going for a Lincoln Sphere, probably Lincoln Sphere, just to give him some tankability. Might be going for even a Refresh Orb, dang, Refresh Orb Puck. Too scary, too scary. Dragon Knight with the BKB just continuously biocoding has definitely made good use of his Midas. I think it's paid for himself by now. Unfortunately, I can't check the CS, so I cannot tell at this moment.
A player's forces are
Centaur
under
with the
attack.
Mythro Hammer has 200 gold in the bank, so I expect an item at his stash
A town is under
or
siege.
something on the courier. Too many crows, too little time. No items for Centaur. He's going to be awarded. He's just going to be feeling so alone. He's not as rich as all these other guys. As Puck blinks in for a illusory orb. And that's it. DK going to circle around the edge with the left edge. Pops the Dragon Form. Going to initiate on the Queen of Pain. Frosty Breath doing too much damage. As Fizz is going to be popped. Going to throw a lot of spells on the Queen of Pain. And she does in an instant. And meanwhile, it looks like Dark Green managed to kill Blue, which is a small victory for the MSIEvoGT squad. Panda popped his ultimate, but Dagon just cleaning up 2 for 2 as Agent Y the Rubik did fall and all that. So still, I mean, MSIEvoGT picking off the supports of the ApplePark squad as the courier just dies, suiciding into the towers. But still 1 for 1 in terms of couriers. But now you see the problem of the MSIEvoGT. They have no way of ever killing these 2 tanky heroes. Dragonite and Centaur are going to be way too difficult to bring down. Unless Centaur just takes all the damage, which he feels like he's doing. Hey, it's hurting the tower. This will hurt you much more than it'll hurt me, says ApplePark. Dragon Knight just pops the Lothar's Edge. Any detection up by the Scourge. No detection. Queen of Pain finished the Bloodstone. Already lost a couple charges after that death. But what will Bloodstone do for you? It will not get you back in the game. Or anything like that. You're not a Storm Spirit. You're not a Lesh. I mean, you don't have any spells that require way too much mana unless you pick up an Aghanims, which will not be for any time soon. So Bloodstone will not help you if you are the Queen of Pain. So ApplePark take the tier 2 tower. Lost 2 heroes in exchange for 2 heroes of their own. But still, they just tested the defenses of the MSIEvoGT squad. And keep in mind, MSIEvoGT mid-game lineup, and if they lose the mid-game, which they're doing quite heavily, as Puck pops the Dream Coil and the Dagon just kill the Earthshaker pretty much instantaneously. And if MSIEvoGT cannot stop the ApplePark squad in the push, ApplePark can just play it slow and steady, because they will be not threatened at all by the lineup of the Scourge. So I quite honestly cannot see too much of a way, but still 2 towers up for the Scourge side. Meanwhile, only 1 tower has been taken by the Scourge of the Sentinels. And Sentinel just going to go for smoke gank, going to try to secure their advantage. Was there a ward up to spot their timing? No. Looks like Queen of Pain and Windrunner going to be in a lot of trouble. Centaur just steals the blink, or Rubik just steals the blink, blinks in on the Queen of Pain, dies in an instant. Will they go on the offensive for the Windrunner? Telekinesis, no Windrunner manages to juke, but now they're just killing Queen of Pain at will. And Queen of Pain just not proving to be a very effective hero in the Southeast Asian Dota 1 games, especially against Puck, as Cao the Dragon Knight managed to clean up Earthshaker with just a Lothar's Edge and a Hyperstone. And now the lanes are being pushed on all sides. I do not quite honestly see a game. I mean, I might be playing Luminous, calling games way too early, but I do not see any hope of a Scourge comeback in this situation. They do not have the heroes that can push waves very fast. They do not have the heroes that can take down heroes very quickly. They do not have the heroes just to bring down a single of these huge amount of tanks. I mean, they killed a Centaur once, but now Centaur almost level, not even level 16, but already 2300 HP.
A player's forces
Dragon Knight is just doing whatever the fuck he wants. And Rubik just gonna say, hey, free Blink Dagger. I like this. I like this spell steal. It's pretty good. Lincoln Sphere will be the item of choice for the Puck. Centaur has picked a BKB for himself, double BKB, when pretty much all the damage coming from the Scourge side is magical. Until you kill the Fire Panda, then it is all magical. Panda picks up a Necrobook. Necrobook 30 minutes in the game, it's going to be free gold. These item decisions are questionable, at the least laughable at the worst. You might think I'm playing harsh, but hey, I've watched these games a lot, and I think I'm starting to get a pretty good grasp. So I don't know. It's not looking good. So we'll see. Might as well just go into late game analysis just because I do not see any anyway. I'm calling this early, but still, like, how
The player's
post in
forces
comments. How do you
are
think MSI UGT could make a comeback? Because I'm just going to late game analysis right now as more spam ensues. To be quite honest, I do not like the spam. It's very annoying as an observer, and it does not really. It doesn't represent Dota 1 very, very strongly. It's not. It's just like all caps trolling, which is getting kind of
your
annoying.
town is under
Maybe
siege.
it's because maybe I'm just jaded because I've casted too many of these Filipino Dota 1 matches. But still. Meanwhile, Panda pops the ultimate Ice Blast, manages to take in Centaur, not regaining HP, but they manage to kill Brown nonetheless. Puck managed to clean up with the dagger as the Earth Panda is going to take the fall. Yes, he does. Earthshaker blinks in with an Echo Slam. Doesn't do anything. Earthshaker will be the next one to fall. Puck doing way too much damage. And MSI UGT going to fall in the first match of these MSI Overdrive Finals as GG is called by the Scourge side. Unfortunately, since the throne didn't fall, I cannot pull it off the final score screen, but still I'll leave this menu open. Well, advantage too much, item advantage too much, tank ability too much. So, where did MSI UGT go wrong? Well, they're trialing. I think if they just put a Windrunner solo, tried to help out the Queen of Pain a little bit more, then they would have had a solid hope of the mid game. But I think they invested too much in the Windrunner trialing. I mean, Windrunner can just pretty much solo. I mean, Rubik, along with the Lina, will be able to pick up kills on the Windrunner and just have Centaur free farming. But it wasn't like Centaur wasn't free farming already. Earthshaker, of course, I think he was pretty much useless in that trialing. I mean, defensive vision couldn't even do anything because telekinesis would be dropping the hero on the other side of the fissure. On the other side of the fissure. So I think if they provide a little bit more support of their Queen of Pain, may have Earthshaker roam a bit more to help out their Panda. Earthshaker only roamed when the trial was pretty much already lost and when DK pretty much had an advantage. And even then, they only were able to trade the Panda for a DK. So that's one thing I think MSI OGT could have done. Another thing is that they played too passively. I think that counter gank on the top lane was very nice. They took advantage of ApplePark's over-aggressive nature, but they didn't do anything with it. They just had Windrunner farm. Even though Ancient Apparition was low HP, they had still 3 or 4 heroes alive already in the top lane, but they just decided to back off, not pressuring the ApplePark squad whatsoever. And finally, I think they just should have drafted better. They had no plans, I don't think. What does this lineup honestly accomplish? It doesn't push very hard. It team fights pretty well, but only until Earthshaker picks up a Blink Dagger. And you have a Windrunner in a Shadow who's not going to pick up too many levels. Yeah, Queen of Pain was pretty much gets countered, hard countered by the Puck these days. So I'm not really too sure what they were doing with this lineup, to be quite honest. They had a lot of range, but still not enough damage to bring down DK, let alone Centaur, which was the last pick by ApplePark. And Puck is just becoming such a dangerous hero these days in the Southeast Asian Dota 1 scene. You know, you're saying, B-Ball, you suck compared to all these guys. I've seen your pubs. You're not a good player. I know I'm not a good player, but still, I mean, if you want Dota 1 to survive in its best light, you're going to have to see more quality player than that. And you might say, okay, you know, you're sounding mad depressing. But still, I'd like to see more high-quality matches, to be quite honest, because this one was pretty much a stomp. But still, the Grand Finals is not over. I'll try to bring you the rest of the games if, you know, I'll take a look at them first to see if they're worth casting, to be quite honest, and then I'll bring you the rest. But still, keep subscribed. I don't think I'll post all the games from the Grand Finals on DC, so the best way to find the games is on my channel just here, and make sure to follow me on Twitch. So again, thank you all for watching, and keep in mind I will be bringing you more Dota 2 stuff in the very near future. Starlight Land is going on, and hopefully I'll be able to manage to get my hands on some replays. If not, the knockout rounds of the defense will provide all the replays that we'll need. So again, thank you all for watching, and have a fantastic day.